appeal and a review and all of that, we will discover that all the witnesses who came and the evidence were all trumped up, and they were all orchestrated, and it was just fabricated. A lot of harm will have been caused the minority leader and the other accused person. So I want to salute Mr. Acheampong for acting in the national interest, for being patriotic.
Yeah, it is clear the allegations are serious. But so far, like you said, even the NDC, which has delved into this matter, the minority, you said you will present the evidence. There's no evidence out in the public domain yet. Clearly, he has something to respond to since the matter is on record in court. But on what basis would he resign when there's really no evidence to prove the allegation that has been put out? The evidence has not been presented yet.
My brother, the people who need the evidence and are not aware of the evidence are you and your listeners, the general public. But as for him, he knows. He knows. Why do you want to wait? Something that you know you have been involved in. And for the first time, this loquacious Attorney General, who has been talking all over the place, the most loud Attorney General this country has ever seen, even speaking about cases that are before the courts, when the judges always tell us that, hey, be careful of making prejudicial comments. You may make statements that are sub judice and all of that. This Attorney General has not cared, has been waxing lyrical always, right at the court premises, as soon as he comes out. Now he's hiding. Until this scandal, I didn't know that he has engaged a spokesperson. I never knew. He's been doing all the speaking himself. Did you know that he had a spokesperson? You and the media.
It was the first time I heard.
Yes. Yes. So, how long is he going to be hiding under his desk at the Attorney General's
So, you're confident he knows?
He knows. He's aware.
What is being said is
so
true.
I can spare the Ghanaian public because they are waiting for the evidence, which will be put out at 2 p.m. today, the most anticipated press conference. But as for him, he knows. So instead of all these games claiming that he's publishing letters, he says that he also has some evidence that the minority leader... I mean, anytime these people do this, anytime... Look, it is your matter. You must defend yourself. You must give us reason to believe that what is being said about you is not true. Then you are beating around the bush. Then you are saying that, oh, if you want to catch me as a cocaine dealer, I know some other cocaine dealers. Why are you not catching them? You know, so because there are others, leave me. I mean, all these cock and bull stories will have to stop. So as for him, he has no excuse to still be hanging on and to still be claiming that he's going to continue with those persecutions. The earlier he resigns and the earlier government announces that they are stopping all those malicious persecutions that are going on, the better for all of us. Because look, it is rule of law. And you see, these matters are so grave. You see, for any republic, the last bastion, the only institution that you don't want to be so tainted, so muddied, so defiled, is the judiciary. Look, as for the executive, we know that people abuse power and all of that. The legislature, we know, sometimes how things can go and how things may degenerate and all of that. But as for the judiciary, because this is where all of us go, it's the last arbiter. I mean, it's the last point. If there's no judiciary, there's no credibility in the judicial process, then people will take up arms. People will say that, okay, let's be a law unto ourselves. Let's settle scores ourselves. What has saved us, even when there are times of disputed elections, and we want to go the path of probably Sierra Leone or Ivory Coast or Kenya, other countries where they suffered instability because of electoral dispute. what has saved us is that we know that, as for Ghana, as for our judges, as for the courts, when we talk about rule of law, what happens there, where we may have concerns every now and then. There may be suspicions every now and then, but it's just suspicion. Nothing really, you don't see hardcore evidence. But this is the first time we are seeing such grave accusations, and to have an attorney general. And if you listen to even some of the defenses they are putting out, they don't know they are making their case worse. That, he went to see a judge, a Supreme Court judge. What business did you have going to a Supreme Court judge's house? So all these years, when people have been saying that the law is about who knows the judge, after this attorney general, it is about how he meets judges at night. They are confirming it. And they think they are doing themselves any good. They want to claim that there was a judge there. Why didn't you meet the judge in his chambers? Judges have now sent their work to their homes, their bedrooms. What was Godfrey Dame, Attorney General, doing in that Supreme Court judge's house at night and saying that they were discussing an unrelated matter, and the Supreme Court judge's cousin, Mr. Jakpa, showed up? Hey! So this is what has been going on. They don't know that that has opened a fresh can of worms. I am frightened. So we go to court. Some of us, we don't have access. We are only waiting for the court to be called for our lawyer to make a case and defend us. Not knowing the night before, the Attorney General is with the judges.
But he says
and his spokesperson is happy telling us this, that they were discussing other matters.
No, but he says this is a judge. Like, you also have people you respect. When they ask you to come see them, you definitely will go. That's what he's saying, that this is a judge he highly respects, who just invited him to his house. He turns up, and he's taken by surprise when Mr. Jakpa turns up.
Taken by surprise. Judge invites you, and you also go. Wow. So that's what has been happening in this country. So all the rumors, all the suspicions apparently were meritorious. Supreme Court judges inviting the Attorney General to their homes. What were they discussing? Look, an inquiry would be exceedingly interesting, and I am all for it. I am all for an inquiry. I really want to know, even if you put the Atufosin clear, criminal conduct of distorting evidence, trying to fabricate evidence to nail Atufosin wrongly. You put that aside. All the incidental matters coming up, I want to know. How many times have these Supreme Court judges been inviting the Attorney General? What do they discuss? Wow. The Republic of Ghana has become very interesting. I haven't watched that latest Lil Wayne movie called A Country. What's A Country Called Ghana?
Yes, I think.
Yeah. I don't know what his script is and all of that, but I mean, this country is becoming such a fascinating place. I mean,
and talking about fascination,
it's full of miracles and wonders.
And talking about fascination, there are those who are always suspicious of commissions of inquiry. They said under this particular government, commissions of inquiries have been set up. Many. They've established many things, none of which has seen the light of day. Even Parliament, there are still questions being asked. You summoned the entire Ghana before you. You look into a matter involving attempts to remove an IGP. Up till now, we've not even heard exactly what the findings of that committee was. Yeah. Why should we trust any process that involves a commission of inquiry? Into this?
I mean, that is a meritorious assertion. I have to be honest that the institution that I'm part of, we need to do more to increase public confidence. You are right about the IGP hearings. There's another one that had to do with the Sputnik V scandal. involving the health minister. At least with that one, the report was put out. It was clear that the health minister had been indicted by the committee's work. However, it didn't come to finality. For many, many months, the question had to be put for us to vote because they recommended a vote of censure, and there was a lot of feet dragging. I know behind the scenes, the majority group, that's when you add the independent candidate to them, because really it's a hung parliament. But the majority group, once again, this extreme partisanship, which is detrimental to our national progress, they didn't want to come along because you need to test to succeed. So, yes, Parliament as an institution, I will agree, there's been a lot of lack of seriousness with our job, extreme partisanship, even in the face of, look at what happened with the finance minister's probe. Our colleagues had held a press conference saying that Ken must go. At a point, the majority leader told us that all of them now agree that Ken must go. And yet, when we brought the articles of censure, they wouldn't come along. We lost the vote after the hearings. So, yes, there are legitimate concerns there, but we don't have to stop trying. At least what these probes do is that even if there will be extreme partisanship at the end, we get to see what the facts are. We can all form our impressions. We can all know what has gone on. Because I really would also want to know how many of these meetings have been taking place at night, what the Attorney General is discussing with these judges under the cover of darkness, and exactly why this Attorney General thinks that he can be fabricating evidence to prosecute people, to destroy the lives of people. Look, don't joke with what happens to people who are thrown into jail. It's the end of your career. It's the end of your life, really. You are like walking dead. You come out of prison, nobody wants to work with you. You have such a horrible record. I mean, how are you going to survive? And only for it to emerge that it was all trammed down. Look at the case of Mr. Chachuchikata. Even though eventually the records were expunged, the conviction was expunged and all of that. Look at the damage it did to him. He almost died in prison. So there are dire consequences. So when attorney generals take, and this particular attorney general takes persecution, he's pursuing persecution without integrity, without soul, so heartlessly, and he's doing it in a criminal way, you are destroying lives. So at least the proofs will help us to delve deep into these matters and to have all of these matters unfold before us in open camera. So those who want to continue with the extreme partisanship can continue. But if the electorate also say that, look, we've had enough, and because of some of this extreme partisanship, which is not in the national interest, we will punish you at the polls. Remember that the December 7 election is fast approaching. Hopefully, that may get some of these MPs who engage in extreme partisanship to change their ways. But it is really better than just sweeping all of this under the carpet. You also can't expect an executive inquiry. The president, as we all know, is a grandmaster of all cover-ups. He will want to have a system in place that will just, totally obfuscate and clear his appointees. We don't want that to happen.
Okay. If you just join us, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is in studio with me, Member of Parliament for North Tong constituency. In fact, I think we had an earlier conversation on the SSNIT matter where you talked about the facts. But now it seems you have progressed a lot. You are planning a demonstration?
Yes, absolutely. I can confirm to you that the Ghana Police Service has been notified
Okay.
by this notice of demonstration dated the 23rd of May, 2024,
Okay.
the Greater Accra Regional Police Commander has been served a notice formally in compliance with the Public Order Act 1994, Act 491. Under the Public Order Act, you must notify the police 4 days to your intended demonstration. It is notification. Often I hear people say permission. It's not permission. Nobody can grant us permission. We have an inherent right under the Constitution to demonstrate. It is our fundamental right to demonstrate. And nobody can take that away from us. Okay. So we have notified the Ghana Police Service. The reason why we have added a demonstration, which is another layer of the resistance, we have entered into another phase of this national resistance, is because the latest documents I've intercepted reveal that despite my petition to Shraj, the nation records at SSNIT are going ahead to finalize the deal.
They haven't stopped?
They haven't stopped. They're going ahead to finalize the deal to the Honorable Bryan Acheampong. Indeed, the letters I've intercepted show that the management of these hotels have been told to hold themselves in readiness to be interviewed by Bryan Acheampong's Rock City to open their books so that they can do the final due diligence and take over these hotels. You know that, unfortunately, Shraj does not have the powers to injunct. So Shraj cannot place an injunction on SSNIT. Okay. Shraj can only probably expedite the investigations and then get their report to be implemented. And it is after they've concluded with their investigations that we will see some action. But we do not want to be sloppy. We do not want to be taken by surprise and be presented with a fait accompli. That is why we have launched deep into the next phase of the resistance. And I can assure you that this demonstration is going to be mammoth. It will be massive. If by the 18th of June, 9 a.m., the president has not called his appointees to order, because you see, without prejudice to the Shraj investigations, this president can ask his appointees, those who are selling, and the appointee who is buying, to back off this deal. I mean, how on earth will you dare sell these hotels, which are profitable, which belong to all of us? You don't consult us, you don't engage us. Organized labor has said clearly that they were opposed to this from day one. At the board, they told them to halt the transaction. They have issued a statement, the 20th May press conference by organized labor. It stated clearly.
That's why I'm surprised you said they are going ahead.
That they asked them, but it's not the first time they are going ahead. You recall that in the statement, organized labor says that they asked them at the board to halt the deal. Until my expose, they didn't know that SSNIT had gone ahead and had already even selected the Honorable Bryan Acheampong's Rock City. They didn't know. So, look, this country, we will not accept a situation where a cabinet minister or any appointee of President Akufo-Addo, for that matter, thinks that they can engage in state capture and grab what belongs to all of us. These hotels were built by our sweat and toil as Ghanaian workers. Labadi Beach Hotel paid dividends of 25 million only last year. Only last year. The year before, 10 million. I've been looking at the books at GRA, checking with my sources. Rock City has not paid anywhere near, even in terms of taxes, what Labadi Beach Hotel has paid in dividends. If you take Ridge Royal Hotel, also very profitable, doing very well, recently renovated in Cape Coast. Even La Palme and Elmina, which appear to be struggling on paper, has anybody told you about the current value of the land? These are fixed assets. In Ghana, land is always appreciating. Beachfront land, prime land. If you see some of the evaluation figures, how much they are offering these hotels to the Honorable Bryan Acheampong, he wants to buy Elmina for only $5 million. 60% shares. So cheap. This is a giveaway. Total giveaway is just being handed over. Look, we cannot have a situation where, despite established decisions by our courts and by SSNIT on conflict of interest. And I have here the famous Richard Anani decision. That is when it comes to conflict of interest involving ministers. That is the locus classicus. That is the most celebrated SSNIT decision.
Okay.
The panel chaired by Miss Anna Bosman, acting commissioner, who is now ambassador in France, Mr. Richard Kwesin, deputy commissioner, Ms. Abna Bonsu, director legal. If you come to page 22, when they discuss conflict of interest, they said, this is SSNIT. Under Article 284 of the Constitution, conflict of interest refers to a situation where a public official's personal interest conflicts with or is likely to conflict with the performance of the functions of his or her office. In the Commission's view, therefore, a conflict of interest includes 1. Any interest or benefit, financial or otherwise, direct or indirect. 2. Participation in any business transaction or professional activity. 3. An incurring of any obligation of any nature or an act or omission which is or appears or has a potential to be in conflict with the proper discharge of a public official's duties in the public interest. It is also the view of the Commission that a conflict of interest occurs when a public official attempts to promote a private or personal interest for himself or herself or for some other person. The promotion of the private interest then results or is intended to result or appears to be or has the potential to result in the following. I, an interference with the objective exercise of a person's duties, and I, improper benefit or an advantage by virtue of his or her position. The Commission has held that a public official breaches this provision not only where there is actual conflict of interest. Let's listen to this carefully. Not only where there is actual conflict of interest, but also where there is a likelihood of conflict of interest. Now, we all know how SSNIT concluded and some of the far-reaching recommendations they made. If I come to paragraph 9.2, page 39, recommendations. This is what SSNIT said in the Anani case. And Anani was not this blatant. Anani, did not say that he wants all our hotels. You remember the Anani matter with Alexandra O'Brien, and the payments to her and all of that, and engaging her to be a consultant for Ghana and all of that, and he got personal, they had a scandalous sexual affair, nowhere near the scale of what we are discussing now. But listen to the recommendations. Page 39. The Commission recommends that the President of the Republic severely sanction the respondent. The respondent is Anani, by relieving him of his post as Minister of State for abusing his power and bringing his office and government into disrepute, which President Kufuor complied with. Anani was removed, remember. 2, the Commission recommends that the Honorable Minister apologizes to Parliament for misleading Parliament. Are you aware that the Honorable Bryan Acheampong has violently breached the constitutional provisions under Article 78 and Article 98 he was supposed to apply to the Speaker to get a certificate to hold an office of profit. He didn't.
They said it's not holding an office. It's not an executive member of the company. It doesn't get involved in the day-to-day run.
It's neither here nor there. It's total hogwash. If you look at the articles of incorporation, he is one of 2 directors. He is the sole shareholder, and he's the sole beneficial owner. He has not relinquished himself of the interest in the company. He is. All profits come to him. All profits come to him. In any case, this business of he is not involved in day-to-day administration, this transaction is taking place far away from him, he's not really aware of what is going on. The chiefs of Edina have exposed him. They have exposed him big time. My favorite intercepted document now is this letter signed by Nana Kojo Kondua VI, the Omanhene of Edina Traditional Area. And it's a petition to the Director General of SSNIT and the Chief of Staff, Jubilee House.
Okay.
And this is what the Venerable Nana states. Settlement of Golden Beach Resort land at Elmina. It has come to the notice of the Edina Traditional Council that the Golden Beach Resort Elmina has been offered for sale. This is when Honorable Bryan Acheampong, Member of Parliament for Abetifi constituency, visited the site with the investors. Our main concern is that the land on which the resort is situated is the property of the Edina Traditional Council. We are therefore calling your attention so that we all could solve the matter amicably. Yours faithfully, signed Nana Kojo Kondua VI, Omanhene of Edina Traditional Area. And this is copied to the Chief Executive Officer.
So you were seeing
Golden
with investors there?
Omanhene says he saw him with his investors. He comes there preparing to take over. So, who is the Honorable Bryan Acheampong deceiving? Why is he lying to us? Because I have no... I mean, why would the paramount chief be making these claims? I mean, why will he concoct? The Omanhene says he saw him, feely, with investors coming to take over the hotel on the land that... And according to the Omanhene, because it was going to be a hotel for Ghana, for SSNIT, they did not demand full compensation for the land. They virtually just gave it out. Now that he's seeing that an individual is going to have it, it's no longer going to be for all of us. He said, come down and come and let's sit. Come and let's sit. So, again, the Honorable Bryan Acheampong is exposed by the Edina Traditional Council. This claim that, oh, he's not involved, he doesn't really have an interest in it, he doesn't know what the Rock City people are doing. Please, he should go and tell this to the chiefs of Edina, who are seeing him coming there with his investors. Now, let me go back to the Shraj recommendations.
Okay.
So, Shraj also said that the Commission recommends that the Honorable Minister apologizes to Parliament for misleading Parliament. 3, the Commission recommends that the Honorable Minister apologize to the government and the people of Ghana for bringing the office into disrepute. 4, the Commission recommends that ministers, deputy ministers, ministers of state, with or without portfolio, within 2 months of taking office, take a compulsory course on conflict of interest, which the Commission, in conjunction with other bodies, will provide, together with their chief directors and other key staff, such as special assistants. 5, the Commission strongly recommends that the practice whereby ministers cultivate special assistants and move with those special assistants when they change portfolios cease forthwith, unless those special assistants are paid directly from the consolidated fund. Far-reaching recommendations. Far-reaching recommendations. Including a further comment where the Commission says that the Commission is concerned with the state of the law on corruption in our law books. In its present state, the law cannot provide the necessary deterrence for achieving zero tolerance for corruption. The Commission recommends that the necessary processes be initiated to upgrade our laws to meet the AU minimum standards as contained in the AU Convention on preventing and combating corruption and related offenses. This is 18 years ago. And you see how matters have rather gotten worse. 18 years ago. All these recommendations are not being followed. These ministers are clearly not going for courses on conflict of interest. They are still moving around with their special assistants when they are reshuffled, moving from place to place. We have not improved our laws on fighting corruption. We have not. That is why, Sana, this brings me to a major intervention that we have decided to undertake.
Okay. Aside
the demonstration, aside the Shraj petition, we are very busy on this matter. Very, very busy. I have decided to sponsor a private members bill that is going to ban politicians, particularly ministers of state, and politically exposed persons from buying state assets.
State assets?
State assets. Land, hotels, restaurants.
Bungalows.
Bungalows.
You can't buy it.
You cannot. I have seen how they've used loopholes from 16 years. When I said the Honorable Jacob Echebe Lamte cannot buy his bungalow, they use technicalities. Oh, he says that he would build apartments for nurses, so it's still really for the public good. As if the nurses will go and live there for free and will not pay rent to the Honorable Jacob Echebe Lamte. And you see, God bless Sofa Akufo. She delivered a minority judgment that she was one of 3 judges. And she predicted that this day will come. Let me read from that judgment. Just one paragraph. She predicted that they are losing an opportunity and that it will open the floodgates. This is what Sofa Akufo, JSC, as she was at the time, said. And at the time, she hadn't become Chief Justice yet. She said, firstly, I have become extremely concerned of late that in the handling of matters involving the interpretation and enforcement of our Constitution, there is a growing tendency for this court to become, in my view, unnecessarily ensnared by the particularities and specificities of the facts of the suit and the technicalities of the manner in which it has been pleaded. The big picture being constitutional interpretation and enforcement and its necessary legal impact not only on the individual parties to the suit, but more importantly, also on the generality of the Ghanaian citizenry for the present and the future. And the future, it seems to me, sometimes tends to become of secondary importance. In my humble view, it is incumbent on this court, where a matter comes before it by way of a writ invoking its original jurisdiction, to trawl through the pleadings in a quest to identify the core constitutional questions in issue, rather than just what the parties claim to be the matters in issue. In the instant matter, the real issue was unfortunately rather obfuscated. This is Sofa Akufo predicting what will happen. That they were opening the floodgates. So if Jake was allowed to buy his bungalow, why can't Bryan Acheampong be allowed to buy hotels? He's gone around, he's seen these hotels. He likes them. He's a minister of state. Jake took a bungalow. He's taking hotels. He's already bought one for cheap, below the valuation that was done at Kumasi Catering Guest House, now called the Grand Regency Hotel. Bought it for cheap in cedis, paying in installment against the agreement. Cheap. Why can't he add more? And you heard him saying that, oh, when I went to the Supreme Court, I lost the Jake matter. So he's very conscious that, I lost. So floodgates have been opened. So Sofa Akufo said, yes, be careful. The Bryan Acheampongs will be coming after that decision. And 16 years on. So that is why we have put together this legal team. And I want to salute Professor Akufo-Addo, who has agreed to lead the team to draft the private members bill. Prof, yes. Okay. Prof is leading the team. And we are saying that we will present this. We take the view that no politician And look at our leaders. President Rawlings, did you ever hear that he is annexing a state asset? President Mills, annexing a state asset. President Mahama. You think that they will have allowed all NDC presidents, will have allowed a cabinet minister, sitting cabinet minister? I mean, the sheer audacity, the sheer effrontery, the total disregard for the Ghanaian people. Cabinet minister sitting in cabinet and saying that as for me, it's hotels I want. Akufo-Addo can't act because it's like the country, the state capture is at levels that have never been seen before. And it's as though the country has been divided. So people have been giving concessions. So you take the forests, and we've seen Sir John's will, how he annexed forests and handed them over to his nephews forever, willed them to them forever. Others are, you take the lands. So we see the land grab that is going on. He also comes, me too, is the hotels I want. I mean, I wonder what we left. As we sit here, I don't even know what else is gone that we don't know. Are we even sure our seas are still for us? It's incredible. So we are saying that we are going to end this. Okay. Clearly, people are taking advantage of loopholes. People are taking advantage of gray areas. People are taking advantage of very bad decisions, as Sofa Akufo said, in the Jacob Echebi Lamte matter. And we don't know where this will end. And you see, when you think about SSNIT, it is not long ago that the ILO issued a very damning report. That report got all of us worried. The report says that in no time, from 2036, SSNIT may struggle to pay pensions. That is what the ILO is saying. So, how does anybody in SSNIT decide that profitable hotels, long-term investments, which will help us to get our pensions when we retire, they will be sold to an individual? And you see, I've always wondered the irony and the hypocrisy in this country. So you hear MPP communicators say, oh, SSNIT is suffering by having these hotels on its books. These hotels are not profitable. These hotels are not good. They are a drain. It's causing a lot of hemorrhage. They talk as though these hotels are scrap. And yet, Senna, the people who say that this is not profitable, it's not good for SSNIT, it's not good for all of us as Ghanaian workers, see the extent the Honorable Bryan Acheampong is going to annex these hotels. Can you believe that? The thing is not good. You say it's bogus. It's not serving our interest. Let's throw them away. And yet, you want them. Hey, what kind of businessman is this? As for him, he only invests in, I've never come across, since I was born, never come across a businessman who invests in things that are not good, that are bogus, that are scrap. Then wouldn't they rather give their money to charity? Maybe save some lives, people who are dying at the hospital. Would they not rather do charity? Which businessman throws their money away on things that are not profitable? How does this make sense? Then the other argument I have heard, they say that, oh, what the Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa is doing to the Honorable Bryan Acheampong is not fair. The Honorable Bryan Acheampong is a great hotelier. He's one of the greatest hoteliers Africa has ever had. He has brilliant ideas for hotel management. He is such a fantastic brain when it comes to the hotel and the hospitality industry. The question I ask these people, the people accusing me that I'm not taking into consideration Bryan Acheampong's international hotel prowess, I asked them that He is sitting in cabinet. Why do we send people to cabinet? So he cannot share a few of these great ideas, the greatest hotelier Africa has ever had. He can't share this small of his ideas with us in cabinet to revive these hotels. This false claim, the false narrative that the hotels are not good, they have all collapsed. He cannot bring that expertise to bear in cabinet when the hotels are for all of us. When these hotels have been put under their care as government, he can only bring it to bear when it becomes his own, private. What kind of selfishness is that? Is that patriotism? Why do we then send people to cabinet? They say he's great hotelier. Rock City is a wonder. It's an amazing place. There's nobody in Africa today who has such prowess when it comes to hotel management. And he can't bring it to bear. It has to be sold first, becomes his private entity, where we all lose out before he will bring his expertise to bear. Hey, are these really members of a new patriotic party? Or they forget that patriotic is how they are known and called? I mean, it's unbelievable. So Sana, I am glad that work is fast progressing on this private members bill. And we are going to end this. This must be the bill that will become law that must end the looting, the state capture. And it will cover all politically exposed persons. We cannot allow this to continue. And I want to also use this opportunity to thank all of those who are supporting us, colleagues in Parliament. We know that our Speaker, who is a reformist, will look favorably towards this piece of legislation. We'll continue to consult him along the way. We also will make sure that there is broad-based consultation with civil society, with academia, anti-corruption crusaders. We cannot continue this. And you see, this has been going on where the NDC will come to power, maintain these assets. It was under NDC that Labadi became very profitable. Even under NDC, La Palm was very, very profitable. So we don't want to have a situation where one group of politicians comes, particularly from the CPP tradition, they build, they expand, they look over state assets, then others come and they just annex them to themselves. And even if there are members in the NDC, in our party, who are thinking that these are some of the examples they want to follow, examples which are not examples that sit comfortably with our tradition, our principles, which our founding fathers never engaged in. If this is the kind of example they want to follow, it will be great to have this law that will prevent all these people who are thinking this way to now know that it is not possible, it is not going to happen. This has to stop. But I can give you and the Ghanaian people the fullest of assurances that everything that we have to do under the sun to stop this sale, we will do it. I mean, this sale will not be finalized. We will keep these hotels for all Ghanaian workers and not just one NPP politician. That one, I can give you that assurance.
Let me read this to you. This is Franklin Kujo. I'm sure you may have seen this post, 21st May. He says, I think it's sensible for a state behemoth such as SSNIT, eternally abused by past and present politicians, to scale down its real estate business, which has never been profitable. Similarly, SSNIT should seek private sector participation in wholly owned hotels, which are all not running efficiently. Not only that to free up some liquidity, but to also amputate the long arm of the politicians which tend to reach into the brick and mortar businesses over which SSNIT has control. That said, I will support any competitive divestiture that brings on board more money, technology, skills, and preserves Ghanaian management. I think the investment plan proposed and the price agreed for the hotels is fair. It's one of the stories that have been heavily published since you started this campaign. So I know your attention has been drawn to it. How do you respond to that?
Definitely, my attention has been drawn to it, and there are many problems with that statement.
Okay.
Imani has been doing some good work, but on this matter, I get the impression that even Imani is divided because over the weekend I listened to the Vice President Bryce Simmons, who did not take this view. Franklin Kujo clearly has been misled, and there are many problems with the statement that he has put out. First of all, to claim that SSNIT has not found these investments into real estate and into its hotel investment portfolio profitable is false. Now we all know. We've circulated the publications widely. When Labadi Beach Hotel went to pay dividends to government, 25 million, 10 million the year before, Ridge Royal. So it is not true to say that these hotels are not profitable. They got his facts wrong. The other claim, which is also false, he says that let's remove the politicians, that the politicians have interfered, and let's go competitive. What he fails to recognize is that the politicians are rather seeking to own this. So again, he gets that totally wrong. The politicians have not been removed at all. It is the politicians who have come up with this scheme to now own these hotels. If these hotels are bad for SSNIT, bad for Ghana, why are the politicians interested? Why should the politicians be allowed to participate in this sale and purchase? So he gets it totally wrong. The other aspect where he has been horribly misled is on the fair price. I thought that he would put out figures. So far in this discussion, SSNIT has not told us the companies that came to bid. SSNIT has refused to publish the tender documents. The last time Nana Akumia was claiming that Bryan Acheampong offered $20 million more. From the statement put out by organized labor, so that these dubious claims, this is organized labor's 20th May statement. Organized labor states, quote, "We find it extremely difficult to understand why the proposed payment terms varied from the original MOU based on the recommendation of the transaction advisor." So, and organized labor is on the board. Franklin Kujo is not on the board. So, who is feeding Franklin Kujo with this information? How can you say that it's a fair price? When what the transaction advisor proposed, the original MOU, organized labor, which serves on the board, is telling us that it has been varied. The Honorable Bryan Acheampong is going to pay far less. We are not going to get actual value. So what's Franklin Kujo talking about? He has clearly been misled. Clearly. And where are his documents? Where are his figures?
The basis on which he's making this claim.
Exactly. You can't just put out a statement in a vacuum and say that it's a fair price. Fair price. How? How is it a fair price? How does he come to that conclusion? When organized labor, those who are in there, who have 4 reps on the board, are telling us that what will have been a fair price, what the transaction advisors recommend, have been deviated from. And you see, people shouldn't think that we do not know about Rock City's track record. Fortunately for us, we have Rock City's conduct to look up to in a similar sale. Okay. In 2022, SSNIT decided to sell their 25% stake in the Kumasi Catering Guest House, which is now the Grand Regency Hotel. Okay. I have since published the minutes from that negotiation, dated 16 March 2022. If you read the minutes, page 2, Mr. Osafu Mafu stated that the trust had an independent valuation done, and the value of the trust 25% stake is 8.6 million Ghana cedis. 8.6 million Ghana cedis. Ask me, how much did Rock City pay? Rock City refused to pay this value. Rock City, by this letter dated 14 April 2022, signed by Madam Jessica Krenzel for the MD of Rock City, said they will pay only 7.4 million. Ghana lost 1.2 million. So what is Franklin Kujo talking about fair price? When Rock City and SSNIT are dealing, Ghana doesn't get fair price. We don't get value for money. We don't get a good deal. That is what the track record shows. I'm speaking to documents, facts, the evidence I have seen.
Is it not a failure on the part of SSNIT rather than on the part of Rock City?
Look, in this transaction, will you believe that SSNIT said that looking at the state of our currency, according to Bloomberg, the world's worst performing currency, the cedi depreciates faster than the vice president's bad dance moves. It's a wobbly currency. So they suggested that they should peg this transaction in dollar terms. Rock City refused. I can read it to you. Mr. Chum followed with a suggestion that the sale price should have been in United States dollars and pegged at the current dollar rate to the cedi. This was declined by the Rock City team. They refused. And you know, to make matters worse, so we have lost value. You have refused to pay the 8.6, the actual value. You say you won't pay. 2, let's do this in dollar terms so that we can get real value. You refuse. You say no. And then 3, to make matters worse, Rock City was allowed to pay in installments. Can you believe that? So there are many analysts who say that they only use the proceeds, the money that is coming when people go, because it's a very profitable hotel, 90% occupancy rate. So they are only using proceeds to pay. They are paying in installment. That is what Rock City does to us anytime they are dealing with SSNIT. So what makes Franklin Kujo and anybody think that it will be a different arrangement this time? This is the track record. This is the reputation of SSNIT. SSNIT and Rock City have a very unholy alliance, as I call it. Very unholy alliance. Their bromance doesn't inure to our national interest. So, if anybody says that Ghana is going to get a fair price, Ghana is going to get a good deal, please, look, are you aware that SSNIT, this same transaction of hotel sales, a few days ago, I published the intercepted documents on the transaction advisor. So SSNIT, which allowed Rock City to refuse to pay in dollars, and they are paying installments with this our worthless currency. When SSNIT was paying the transaction advisor, they are paying the transaction advisor in dollars. So the transaction advisor, known as SEM Capital, we are paying $491,986, almost $500,000. That is about 7.1 million Ghana cedis at the current exchange rate. So SSNIT, when they are paying this transaction, our monies, the collections, the deductions they take from our salaries, they pay in dollars. When they are dealing with the people who they say are coming to save us, are coming to help resuscitate hotels they claim are worthless, they pay in cedis. They don't pay the actual value. And they pay in installment. I mean, what's going on here? What is going on here? And then these people turn around and say that they are bringing in people to save us. Look, this whole transaction, SSNIT is confirming that they are totally incompetent. The managers there. So they have to resign. If you issue a statement, your 19th May statement, and you say that you are looking for efficiency, you want to inject efficiency, you want to inject profitability and all of that. So why are we keeping these people as SSNIT? Why?
You think the problem
you are
is
telling this is self-indictment. You are telling us that you are not efficient. You can't run the place well. You can't make profit. So why are we keeping this Osafu Mafu and the rest? Why are we keeping them there? What business do they have being in the management of SSNIT and running these hotels? They are the ones who make the appointment. Franklin Kujo is saying that, if SSNIT divests itself, then the politicians cannot be appointing people and all of that. Why, if you are serving at SSNIT, the board, management, you allow politicians to just send you any kind of person to go and manage a hotel, and you accept it. You don't resign. You don't resign. Are these people that we should trust to supervise strategic state assets? I mean, I can't believe the levels of self-indictment, the levels of ineptitude. It's most shocking. It's most shocking. So whichever way you look at this, it doesn't make any sense. And you see, let's not talk as though in this deal there is any good for Ghana, for our collective interest. When you give 60% stake to the Honorable Bryan Acheampong, you are giving him a controlling stake. He can decide to sack all those workers there, and that's what is going to happen. Look at the history of diversity in Ghana. The first casualty, workers, they will say there are too many people working. They will lose their jobs. All those who are working at those hotels. Only a few, or he may bring new people from outside. Because already your management have sold you out. They say you people are inefficient. You are incompetent. They are issuing public statements to that effect. So all of you will lose your jobs. So how does this benefit us in terms of job creation? Beyond that, when the profits start coming, we have lost majority. So the majority of the profits goes to the Honorable Bryan Acheampong. So how can anybody argue? How can Franklin Kujo then argue that this is in our interest, we are going to get some fair price, it's a fair deal? How? How? With this horrible track record, anytime Rock City is dealing with SSNIT. So look, as for this deal, there is no way we are going to accept it. And I want to salute organized labor. I want to salute the civil society organizations who held a press conference. This has been one matter that there has been very overwhelming. There's been an avalanche of condemnation. And it has been prompt, it has been swift, it has been loud. The earlier the president gets his appointees to back off, we are not going to lose these hotels. Ghanaian workers will not lose these hotels. And they should dare us. They should underestimate our anger, our rage. They will see what will happen in this country on the 18th of June at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. They will see. They will see what will hit them on the 18th of June. Already, organized labor has declared that the mother of all strikes is looming. And you've heard organized labor. They didn't hide it. They told the whole country that they are working with me behind the scenes. We are united on this cause. It's not a one-man battle. This is a struggle to keep strategic state assets. And if the president and his men think that they can proceed, and I don't know what it is with the MPP presidents, when everybody is leaving office, they want a hotel for themselves. At least President Akufo, he went to buy from a private person. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, and the greatest hotelier Africa has ever seen. They should go and buy private hotels. Have they heard any of us complain when they were building Rock City? If they have all the money they say they have made. Because another discussion that we should even be having. Can you imagine what would have happened in this country if it was an NDC minister who says he has money to buy all these hotels? What would be the first question?
How did you make your money?
How did you make the money? Where is the money coming from? Why is nobody raising? Look at what was done to Victoria Hammer for just dreaming. She was just dreaming to have $1 million. Cecilia Dapa, she has it under her bed. This person is going to buy all these hotels. And it's not even a consortium. It's not as if they put together many banks, many institutions. It's just Rock City. Sole shareholder. Sole beneficial owner. Nobody is asking where all of this, because I have seen the initial figures. It's about $195 million if you put this, the four hotels. $195 million. And nobody is asking where he's getting all of that from. I mean, in Ghana today, the government is broke. SSNIT says it's broke. It must sell their hotel. The state is broke. We have been declared bankrupt by Moody's, by Fitch, by Standard & Poor's. And yet, the individuals in the government, in the cabinet, are richer than the government. They are richer than SSNIT. Incredible.
No, but I have to take a break. My time is running quite fast. Well, in the meantime, Hisense is best known for all your electronic appliances needs, such as television, refrigerator, chest freezer, and air conditioners. But did you know Hisense has listed television, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphones, sound system, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettles, irons, air fryer, just to name a few. As one of the best electronic companies in Ghana, Hisense stand by its products and offer up to 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. With Hisense showrooms across Ghana, visit any of the showrooms around Accra and also in Tema, Kumasi, Takrady, Takwa, Mankasim, Obuasi, Sinyani.